Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this unboxing. This is the first unboxing I've done in the calendar year 2026, as I have not purchased anything uh, in the mail in this calendar year. So this is my first time around. I did not order anything January or February, so March it is. And this is going to be the NBC game of the week, engine and season, that I have ordered. So I wore longer sleeve shirts today, not because it's necessarily cold outside, but I don't want to embarrass anybody with the guns. So I'm going to keep the gun show out of the camera so that it won't embarrass certain people out there. And we'll just go for it and see what happens. This is, as Mr. somebody once said, hermetically sealed. You can see this is original. Nothing's been tampered with. It was brought to my porch this afternoon, and here it is sitting here. So we are going to get going with this without the need, hopefully, without having to use these things. But there are backups just in case. But hopefully I won't need those. So let's get to see the guns. You get to see the gun show, but I won't embarrass anybody. See the glue on this thing is, there we go. We got it off of there. See, it didn't even take much of a gun show to get that done. So we open this up and you see inside there is paper, newspaper. Do they even make newspapers anymore? People get stuff online. I didn't think anybody would do stuff with newspaper. Newspaper material, we treasure this very much and we really like it. So we want to protect it. So we'll keep it out of the, we'll keep it in plastic or something so it doesn't get messed up. And we will empty the contents of the box. And so now this box, other than more paper that we want to control very nicely and make sure everything is good to go. Kind of hard to see in there, but the box is empty. There is nothing left in the box. It's empty. It's out of there. All right. Hello, Ben, Dr. D, TJS, Mark, and I think that's it right now. All right. Like I said, this will be the game engine and the season for the NBC game of the week, which starts a week from this Saturday. Hello, Colin. And this is what we are going to have. Turn this around because I see it's backwards. So we are going to unveil this. And you can see by the way it's set up here, this is Fall Classic. Nothing else in the box, but I will keep this box to store it in. And I've already got a label ready to go for the box. Already had this printed up and ready to go. So you can see it's the 1979 season. That will be the season for the Inside Pitch NBC game of the week. It will be 1979. 1979 NBC game of the week. I've already gone through and done my envelopes, team envelopes, to put all the players in, teams in, whatever you want to call it. Got those ready to go. Got my defensive sheets already printed out. First game on the schedule, St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies from St. Louis. It was the actual game on the NBC game of the week in April for the first game. So we will have the Phillies and the Cardinals. I believe it's Vukovich for the Cardinals. I don't remember who's pitching for the Phillies off the top of my head without looking. But that's the first game that's coming up for the 1979 season on the NBC game of the week. So now let's take a look at some of the cards. And as you see, when you get them from Fall Classic, they come in this plastic with the rubber bands, and they come in what they call stacks. So let's see if I can get into this plastic without messing anything up. without using the implements. Boy, if I can get this thing open, that'd be dangerous. And again, this will start not this Saturday, but next Saturday, April the 8th. I believe it's the 8th, if I remember the calendar correctly. May not be the 8th. I have to remember the calendar date. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's not this Saturday. It's next Saturday. Put it that way. So, well, already the rubber band is broken on this. That's kind of unusual that the rubber band would give out that quick. A couple of them did. Just in shipping. They must be using some real old rubber bands. They need to take their cue from Strat-O-Matic and use these good sturdy Strat-O-Matic rubber bands. That's what they ought to be doing. So, batter stack, we'll go to batter stack 1. I guess we ought to do it in order. I do like how they do the batter stacks. I do like they put this in here to protect the cards. So even on the rubber band, the cards are protected for the most part. So batter stack 1, we start with the Baltimore Orioles. Earl Weaver's Baltimore Orioles. They were 102 and 57, and were the American League champions, losing to the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates. So we do have the Baltimore Orioles. A couple guys I'm interested in looking at. John Lowenstein, tremendous hitter against right-handed pitching, not so much against lefties. So against righties on the 25, not only do they give him a hit, they give him a home run. So how's that? They give him a home run. I haven't seen that one before. Not only do they give him a single, but they give him a home run. How about that? Against right-handed pitching. Very, very interesting. So I'll be looking forward to getting these on the table. And of course, they do pitcher stacks and batter stacks. I'm not sure which stack goes where, to where they're going to have pitcher. I thought they had pitcher stacks and batter stacks. This is showing all batter stacks. So I guess the pitchers are mixed in there. So there we go. Pitcher stack number 1 is down here. That's what it is. Okay. So the Orioles are down here for the pitcher stack. So it ends right there. So the Baltimore Orioles. These are the Baltimore Orioles. These are the cards that come with the Baltimore Orioles of 1979. So if I go to my Baltimore Orioles envelope, and I probably didn't need these big envelopes to hold these, but I had them left over, and didn't get a Strat set to use them for, so I figured I'd use them for this. So these things are way bigger than what these cards are. But when I'm going to find the teams I need, since the cards themselves are not in team colors, it makes it nicer to have them in this little envelope so I know exactly where they are. And there's pitcher stack number 1, batter stack number 1. And then the Boston Red Sox were behind Baltimore. Don't know if there's anybody in particular that is of interest on the Red Sox of 1979. I know Fred Lynn had a good year in 79. Let's see if I can find this. There he is. Jim Rice probably did too. Yep, he sure did. Jim Rice, 39 homers, 130 runs batted in, a 325 average. Fred Lynn, 39 home runs, 122 batted in, and a 333 average. So pretty good stuff there for the Red Sox. And then we match them up with their pitcher stack for the Red Sox, and we have our total number of Red Sox players. I agree, Mark. I agree. Strat is definitely number 1. So, but I'm doing the 1987 Strat-O-Matic American League replay every day, every game, so I need some variety. All Strat, no variety makes demos a dull boy. So we need some variety here. So as we go to Red Sox, there they are. So we'll put the Red Sox in there. I'm not going to do this for every team because that's just too boring. But anyhow, like I said, I do have the team sheets all put together, ready to go for the team fielding and pitching. I just call them team sheets, not defensive sheets necessarily. I just call them team sheets in general. And let's get these things in here. There they go. You get down in there, sucker. So there's the Boston Red Sox. Like I said, these things are not tall enough, or not in width-wise compared to Strat cards. They're not nearly as long. Strat cards would take up the whole envelope here. So, again, got all the defensive team sheets. Very important to have. So those were sent PDF. When you buy the set, you get the PDF. And for anybody that has not played this game or is not that familiar with this game, I will do a detailed playthrough before the NBC game of the week so that you will see exactly how the game is played before I play it for the NBC game of the week. I want everybody to be up to speed on that. And speaking, since you know that movie Beetlejuice, where you say Beetlejuice and he appears? Well, Colin said Tabby, and Tabby appears. So there is Tabby. Tabby, what are you doing? Come here. You don't want to be here, do you? Everybody wants to see your face, not your butt. Tabby. Now you're not even in camera. There you go. There you go. So there you go, Tabby. She did her cameo, and that was it. She says, I'm getting out of here. She says, I was resting until you disturbed me. But now she's fascinated by the newspaper that was in the packaging. She seems to be fascinated by that. So anyway, as we look at the 79 standings, let's move my cord out of the way. It got in the way here. As we look at the 79 standings, you see Cincinnati won the West, Pittsburgh won the East, California won the West, and Baltimore won the East. And, of course, Baltimore defeated California in a 5-game series. Pittsburgh defeated Cincinnati in a 5-game series. And then Pittsburgh, down 3-1, came back and beat the Orioles 4-3, winning the last 2 games in Baltimore, no less. So really a surprise there, because I really think Baltimore probably had the better team of anybody. I mean, their record certainly proves it, 102-57. Milwaukee was very good at 95-66. 95-66 is usually good enough to win a division, but not when the Orioles are 102-57. Also a tight race in the West. Montreal only 3 games back, well, actually about 2 games back of Pittsburgh. And Houston only a game and a half back of Cincinnati. I think Houston led the West for quite a bit. And then they just kind of, Cincinnati, I guess, got on a red-hot streak. California only winning the West by 2.5 over Kansas City, dethroning Kansas City, who had been champions for 3 years in a row. So all 4 pennant races were really, really good there. So, yeah, Toronto and Oakland are not so good. I do have them playing one time on the ABC game of the week because I want everybody to be on there once. So I will try to give you a sneak preview of the tentative. This is tentative, this is not in stone. This is tentative. This is the tentative schedule for the NBC game of the week. So it's actually April. Well, the date in 79 was April 7th. I'm still not sure what that correlates to in 2026, but I believe, let's see, April 13th, Monday, April 6th. So I believe it's April 4th. I believe it's a week from this Saturday, which will be April 4th. So I do believe it's April 4th that the NBC game of the week will commence. Be Philadelphia at St. Louis, followed by Baltimore at Milwaukee. And what I did is I tried to find games that were played in the daytime so that it looks like they were probably the NBC game of the week, or at least one of the choices for NBC game of the week. And then whoever was left, I just kind of fit in where I could. Like San Diego, New York, I had to put, New York was already here playing the Dodgers, but I had to get San Diego in somewhere. So I put them here. Same with Toronto. I had to get Minnesota and Toronto in there. So I figured they play each other on the 14th. So why not put them in there and kill two birds with one stone? But that's the tentative schedule. Now, when we get down here, and what I'm going to do in 79 is I'm going to input all these games, or the games I play, into the Action PC computer, and I'm going to have the computer sim everything else. So whatever the computer sims, that's what I'm going by with my division races, and that's what I'll use to determine who makes the playoffs and so forth. And if there's a tie or whatever, we'll go by what their record is in the NBC game of the week. And then, like I said, if it gets down here, if some of the games I have picked out, like Cincinnati, Los Angeles, and Baltimore, Boston, if those are not playoff impacting games, then I'll substitute them and pick out something else. But that's what we're going to go with. And the Action PC computer is going to give me the active rosters for this particular game. Whoever's on that roster for that particular game for Philadelphia and St. Louis on April 7th, they'll be on the roster there. And we'll just play it out every Saturday, roughly at noon Eastern. And I'm trying to mix it up, try to go American League, National League back and forth as I could. But I believe these first three games were the actual NBC game of the week. And I believe all of them in April were the actual NBC games of the week, or at least one of the two they had to choose from. And then from there, I kind of just looked at the schedule and tried to find ones that looked like they might have been the NBC game of the week. For instance, we'll be in New York twice, once at Yankee Stadium, once at Shea Stadium. We'll be in Chicago back-to-back, once at Comiskey and once at Wrigley Field. So interesting there. So that's the schedule. It starts, these dates are the 1979 dates on that Saturday. But our date to remember is April the 4th. April the 4th, a week from this coming Saturday at noon, it'll be the Phillies and the Cardinals on the Fall Classic NBC game of the week. But before that, I will play a slow playthrough, kind of a combination slow playthrough and tutorial that I think I'll turn into I'm going to do a playthrough, but do a tutorial as I play it, if that makes sense, to explain what's going on, every particular check and whatnot. The one caveat on this is, like the Replay Gamer, I do not use the fast action cards. I use the charts. So everything will be played via the charts. There will be no fast action cards involved in this. Tabby seems to have settled in, and she's really interested in the plastic and the newspaper. She seems to really be fascinated with that. So if that keeps her quiet and keeps her busy, excellent. So didn't want to take too long with this. Just wanted to put that out there because people had asked. I originally was going to do 1989, but then I thought about it. 1989 is awful close to the 87 Strat replay I'm doing. So I really wanted to, get a different era with different players. And I was actually kind of worried about this set getting here because I ordered it on the 13th of March. And what is it today? It's 25th of March. So it took a while to get here. So I was kind of sweating it out. Like, okay, if it doesn't get here, I guess I'll revert back to 89. But it's here now. So we're going to do 1979. And just out of curiosity, let me see here if they have. I don't have the thing in front of me. So at least I don't think it's going to be what I'm looking for. Don't believe so. It doesn't look that way. Should have been over here, though. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe it was over here. Yeah, there we go. If I could find his card, that would be nice. There he is. Nolan Ryan. Just out of curiosity, Nolan Ryan in 1979. I have no idea what kind of year he had. He was 16-14 with a 1.27 whip, 223 innings pitched, 223 strikeouts, 17 complete games. So obviously, batters faced, he can face 36. I don't know why they say batters faced in relief, because according to this, he didn't have any relief appearances, but that's just All right, so RGL, you're saying they don't print it until the order is made. Is that what the deal is? So they don't have these sets just sitting around rotting. They wait until somebody orders them and then they print them, like a print on demand. I guess that's what you're saying. That can make sense to me. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. That's why they can offer any season they want, because they can get the order and print it out. Maybe Strat could learn something like that. You never know. All right. So anyway, there you have it. That was the schedule I was going to use for 1989, but that got replaced with 79. So that's the schedule tentatively for the NBC game of the week. And it is going to be 1979. So just wanted to put this out there pretty quickly. I didn't want to, belabor. It's not a whole, I'm not going through all these teams and everything like that. So just presenting what's out there because people had asked. So here it is. And next Saturday will be the thing. I'm not sure when I'm going to do the, slow playthrough. I'll have to figure that out. And I'm not sure what team I want to use. I may do the Pirates and the Orioles World Series. I may take an opening day game, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the schedule. I might very well do the opening day game for somebody. I don't know if it's Cincinnati Reds or whoever. I'll try to pick a decent game on opening day and use that. And the Pirates don't actually appear until June 30th, so I might use the Pirates against somebody. Not sure. I'll look and see what's going on opening day and figure out a good one to use. I do want to use a non-DH because I want to show bunting, and it's much easier to bunt in the National League than it is the American League. So it will be a National League game that'll be played on the slow playthrough. And I'll probably record that because I want to play it without, if I sit there and take questions while I'm playing, it's going to be a 3-hour video, and I don't want to do that. So I'll record it and put it out there probably next week sometime. Maybe may do it over the weekend. I haven't decided yet. May put it out this weekend. But certainly before the following Saturday, so that those that are not familiar with the game or don't know anything about the game at all can see how it operates. It's kind of a combination APA and Strat influencing on both of those. I can see the influence from both games. So it's an enjoyable game. I did like it when I was playing it in 1989, and getting back into it with the charts. I really started enjoying the game and looking at the nuances of the game. And so this is what we got. So I'm going to organize everything and then figure out what game I want to play for the slow playthrough. In fact, I'm going to go look at the schedule now in 1979 and see what teams played on opening day. And if you guys want to vote on it or whatever, or if there's a particular one you want to see, doesn't matter to me. I'm good all the way around. Let's see here. Opening day was in 1979 was April the 4th. There were only 2 games played April 4th, San Francisco, Cincinnati, or California, Seattle. So it makes sense to me that San Francisco and Cincinnati would be the playthrough game. Vida Blue against Tom Seaver. That's a pretty good pitching matchup. This particular game, though, Cincinnati really had a bad game. I don't know if I can show it on here or not, but I can make it big enough to show. But Giants won the game 11-5. Cincinnati made 5 errors in the game, and Tom Seaver got knocked around pretty good. Let's see here. Tom Seaver won an inning and 2/3. Did Seaver inning and 2/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned. But there were 5 errors in the game. 1 on Morgan, 1 on Foster, 1 on Bench, 1 on Auerbach, and 1 on Seaver. So obviously in that game they were not ready to play. Hopefully they will be ready to play in the slow playthrough. So San Francisco and Cincinnati will be the slow playthrough game. It'll be Tom Seaver against Vida Blue. And I'll record that. It might be an 1.5 to 2-hour video because I want to take it slow and show people that don't know how to play this game or have never seen the game I'm taking it from that approach. So if you're a veteran of Fall Classic, you'll probably find it boring. But I want to put it out there, and if by chance I do something that's incorrect, that gives people a chance to put something in the comments, so I can make the correction going into the Saturday NBC Game of the Week game. So that's going to do it from here. Tabby said it's time for me to quit. And tomorrow morning, of course, back to the Strat-O-Matic 1987 American League replay. And we got a great pitching matchup with the word, I'll use great in quotes. Boston plays Cleveland, and it's Bob Stanley against the wonderful Rich Yett. That'll be